You become a cookie cutter of your master, of your professor, instead of providing a fresh perspective on art.
Agreed. Because once you learn all these rules, I think you're confined by them.
Unrealism.
3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Let's
And we're
get
live.
it. I think we have a very exciting week coming up for humanity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we're gonna be blessed without hearing your voice for an entire week. Why don't you tell me
to the world?
Yeah, why don't you tell me and whoever's listening what you're trying to do for the next, 7 days?
I'm doing a 7-day one. I mean, people do much longer silent retreats than 7 days, but it'll be my first one, so I'm.
So it's a silent retreat. What the fuck is a silent retreat?
Mine's different. It's slightly based on silent retreats. I'm doing it solo, so it's not a real silent retreat.
Wait, back up. What is a silent retreat?
It's when you're basically in a camp with a group of people and you don't talk for, a set amount of time, and you essentially meditate and fucking do nothing. Just think and breathe. So, but mine's a little different. I love Eastern mythology. I love Hindu mythology. So I'm kind of borrowing Vipassana or Vipassana if you're not a white guy. Their meditation, and that's a silent meditation. And what are
you doing?
Well, I'm coupling it with painting. So for a week, I'm going to turn my phone off. I'm going to basically eat like fish and like healthy shit. And I'm just going to meditate, drink a ton of water. I'm going to cut every shitty dopamine rush that I get. I'm going to cut coffee, alcohol. So nothing, no stimulants, right? Just water, good food, meditation, breathing, and painting for a week. No friends, obviously. No speaking. It's gonna be weird. It's weird.
Okay. No speaking, no singing in the shower.
No. I'm considering. I still want to do some push-ups and pull-ups and stuff while I'm at home.
Yeah. How does that work? Like, what if you wanna?
I'm gonna exercise. And I'll probably go for runs and stuff. I just won't run.
I wonder if, because you do get serotonin and you do get like chemicals released when you work out.
Yes.
So I wonder if that might like really stimulate you because you have nothing else kind of giving you a high.
Right. I think the painting's going to give me a high, and I think the meditation's going to give me a high. When nothing's coming in, and then you get extreme focus.
Yeah.
Reach that psychedelic point, you're going to get a rush. I think it's just going to take a lot of suffering to get there, obviously. But
I don't think it's just like you get to focus. It's the removal of distraction that allows nothing but focus.
Yeah. I mean,
you've literally set up your life where like you can't do anything except for be a potato or paint. And I think you're gonna want to paint.
Jason.
Yeah. You might just end up a French fry, dude.
It'll be tough, dude.
That's cool though. I'm excited for you. I think it's something that like I've heard of other leaders and like real thinkers do. So I think it's very form fitting for you. But why are you doing what do you hope to get out of it?
I got inspired from you read his book, Yuval Harari.
Yeah.
Israeli professor, wrote Sapiens. He did a 2-month silent meditation, Vipassana meditation in India. So I'm like, if this guy can do 2 months, I think I could do a week. but his is obviously like he's in a group. He's like with a fucking guru or some shit.
Yeah.
But he said that. So he's done it for, I think, I don't know, almost 2 decades type of thing. I think he said 16 years last I heard, and he has given it the credit of, I couldn't have written all my books without this meditation, without the extreme focus that I get from this. And he does it every year. I don't know if he does 2 months every year, but I think that was his record. So it kind of inspired me there. And then the biggest driver for me to do it was a particular painting that I'm working on. I'm doing this like really, really large commission. That's where I'm going to use only one color. I'm going to just use white texture and like grays and stuff. And I wanted to kind of challenge myself, and I wanted to be like, to inject sort of peace and serenity into it, and maybe just a dash of nirvana. So I thought, let's just go extreme with this piece. It might be interesting to just sit, meditate in front of it, and see what happens. And I just want to do it for myself. It's a good reset. I think it'll be a really good reset for my brain.
Oh, that's gonna be a special piece. I think when artists, it's like method acting. I think it's when you really get into like what you're working on, and you're not just acting anymore. You're like living this piece or this role or this song. It can come out really powerful. I think it's really fitting for you, and I'm stoked. I did a 2-day one before. I let myself listen to music though. It was half baked, but I turned off my phone and I just went off into northern BC and kind of just had a pen and paper and just kind of planned out everything. It was interesting. Like, you're doing it for a full week, although you're going to be around like the downtown core. You're going to definitely like walk out and see a bunch of people, but
yeah,
it's going to be, huh?
That's going to be the weird thing. Like, if, I'm going to buy a bunch of food, but let's say I have to go out and get something, right? You come up to the cash register and, hey, would you like some bags? And you're just like,
Yeah, it's like what a mute person would do, right? Like,
exactly.
like they wouldn't know sign. Like, the person on the other end probably doesn't know signs, so you can just type something out and like have your phone be like, I
Right.
can't speak.
Yeah, imagine
Et
I
cetera.
meet my soulmate during that week, right? Come up with your phone.
Yeah.
It's the joke. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it would be weird doing it in downtown just because of how hectic it is. But
You'll be inside, hopefully. Like, you wouldn't, yeah. COVID and everything, just stay
I'm
inside
gonna
and just,
mostly be inside. I'm gonna mostly be in my own space, and I'm worried about. I don't know. It's scary to jump into this one. I haven't,
really.
for sure. Like, I'm gonna be bored out of my mind. I do meditate daily, but it's like 20 minutes at a time type of thing. And most of the time I do 20 minutes, it's like after about 3 minutes, you think it's already done. And then, you'll like open your eyes and look at the clock and you're like, fuck, I'm only 3 minutes in.
Well, okay. That's what was really cool about like when I tried that like semi-silent retreat. Like, I had the longest first night. Like, because I made it an excursion. Like, I put myself out of like a familiar environment. Everything was new, and time moved so slowly. Like, and I remember it was like I wanted to wake up early to do a hike. So I wanted to also get to sleep early. But I arrived at that spot maybe in the mid afternoon. But like, nightfall just took so long, and it was in the summer, um, which was really cool because a lot of today's times, I feel like we have this anxiety, or our anxiety comes from the thought of not having enough time. So if you're bored and you feel like you have excess of time, that's like a huge shift in reality. Because I always feel like I'm running out of time. Like I feel like, yo, like fuck, it's already like time for bed. Fuck, I need to like get up early tomorrow, so I need to sleep. I'm stressed and get all this shit done. So I'm excited for you about that. It's like your perception of time is going to be skewed a bit.
Definitely. Yeah, I won't have my phone in my pocket, right? I'm gonna turn it off and put it in my storage. Um, I don't really have any clocks up anywhere. I won't have an alarm clock. That's gonna be a weird one, right? I'm probably gonna be falling asleep relatively early, you know,
Yeah.
not that early. I'll probably, end work at midnight or so. And then, you wake up and you're just judging time by the by the sun or the lack of sun. It'll
No, dude, you got a microwave. You gotta stick some electrical tape over your microwave clock.
Should I just not consider time at all?
That's up to you. That's
That's
a
yeah,
that's a
that's a
minor
weird one.
detail. Yeah, like I
I
wouldn't
also
overthink.
I want to know how long I'm like, meditating for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure that part out. Uh, but yeah, it's scary, but I want to do. Hopefully, if I get through this one, I want to do a bigger one in the future.
Yeah.
Um, who's that guy that we like? Jesse Itzler. I've talked to you about him before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's he went away and lived with a bunch of monks, and I think it was in upstate New York or something like that. I don't remember how long he did it for. I think it was like I don't remember how long it was for, but he wrote a book on it, and that was a really inspiring one as well. Like I want to do something like that too in the future. Just like do it with professionals, you know. I'm a dumb fuck just doing it myself, with all my like painting materials. But I want to learn from monks and meditators, and you know, so that's the next step. But
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
practicing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool. I like not only like do more spiritual people do it too. Like I think this practice um a bunch of leaders, like we said, like CEOs and things like that, I think they do similar things where they'll go off and they'll do um not fully silent retreats, but they'll do things where they completely unwind and they use time to like think strategically. Bill Gates, he actually, I think every year he takes a week off. Bill Gates is, he's busy. He's like the pinnacle of like, he's got shit going on, right? So
Hmm.
he'll go off, and I think for a week straight, he'll go to a cabin. I don't think he really communicates with the outside world. I need to get fact checked, but he'll bring like a bag of books, and he'll just dissect like strategy books, and he'll just learn and think for a week because he's like a machine, right? That's how he works. He'll synthesize a bunch of information. He reads really quickly, and then he'll come out with like answers. So like his silent retreat, I wouldn't recommend to somebody who maybe like reads slow or doesn't really absorb information like that too well,
Hmm.
or like visual learners. I wouldn't say like that's the best retreat for you to do. So
Hmm.
maybe skew it or just change it to how it'll fit you as an individual best, right?
That sounds
And
awesome too, though. I want to go away to a cabin and just read a bunch of books. I'm not allowed to
yeah,
read.
yeah, no, like it's I'm sure tons of people do that, like, and they'll call it vacation. They'll go to cabos and they'll just lie on the beach and read all day. It's a little different though, right? Like it's different with intent. Like he's reading to expand his universe. He's not doing it for leisure. He's going and he's critically like like his brain's
Right.
fucking doing crazy shit. You know, and same with you. Like you're not being silent so you can reach a third dimension of nirvana like in your head. You're just trying to channel a different level of painting, right?
Yeah, it's mainly for this painting. Uh, Secondary reason, for
Yeah.
myself. It will be kind of nice, I think, coming out of it.
Yeah. Listen, like people are put into solitary confinement for crimes that they they haven't
Oh,
committed. So I think this is going to be a walk in the park, man. That you
in
shouldn't be scared.
comparison, yeah.
Yeah,
But
come on, perspective.
those
Like,
those guys get books, man. I got nothing.
are you sure?
Yeah, you're not allowed to
They
read or
they
watch
get
anything.
sunlight. They get cells with no windows, and a nice orange jumpsuit. I'm sure will match your match your eyes, buddy.
Yeah, man. Where'd you get that hat?
Exactly. Ask me how I know about it.
But yeah, I feel like, from all the successful people and all the greats that we study, they tend to do some sort of extreme thing for, an amount of time, right? You and I have we've tried like a workout thing for a month. Um, and I'm surprised that you're not joining me on this one, actually.
I just can't. Like, it
It's
would
not for you.
be the downside of stepping away from like my business for a week is it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of stuff just because I
Fair.
have a lot of things that you have to like be in the weeds about. Like, I can't zoom out yet,
Yeah. Fair
so
enough.
it just doesn't make sense at the timing.
Fair
If
enough.
I had the means to like maybe put it off to an admin or like automate something, like I could, but I just can't. Yeah.
You're
But
you're
I definitely feel like that it's a good if you find yourself in a rut and you need a mental reset, fuck dude, this is like one of the best things. It's I don't think anything bad can come out of it.
might go crazy.
Maybe
No,
you need that,
maybe, yeah.
right? It's
Maybe.
like you're not no substances, no outside stimuli. Like you're people go through their entire lives without I think over 48 hours of this.
Yeah. Let's talk about it when I'm done though. Right now we're just
Yeah,
we're
no, this
putting
is like
so
the
much
prep.
pressure on me to.
Yeah, yeah, this is like thoughts going into it, and then like we're gonna touch base 2 Mondays from now. So I think that's gonna be around like 10 days when you're
Yeah.
out. And you know what? You know what'd be cool? Make this after you call your mom and dad and tell them you love them, your family.
Yeah.
Let's hop on and you can just kind of fucking vent.
Like first thing
Yeah, after you like make contact with the
with
fam.
with spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah,
Let's do it. Okay, let's podcast basically like the day I'm done. I'm gonna wake up, right? And that will
yeah.
be the end of I will have gone to sleep silent and I will wake up just I wonder if I'll be just like a chatterbox or if I'm gonna be so zen I won't even want to
You'll,
talk that day.
you'll be so zen, dude. You'll be so zen.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I think you'll also stutter on a few things.
I already stutter and I'm a chatterbox all day. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be yeah, it'll probably be difficult to speak, but I'm curious. I don't know. We'll see.
So you're starting. Okay, are you starting this on Monday, like the December 14th, right?
I'm starting on Sunday. So Sunday
Sunday. Okay.
morning I wake up and that's the beginning of it. I put my phone
So when are
away.
you ending? Are you ending on Sunday morning or Monday morning?
Uh, well, Sunday morning would be a week, right?
Yeah.
7 days. Yeah.
So okay, should we podcast on Sunday, the next
Let's do
episode?
it. Let's do it. I'll be fresh right out of the gate, and I'll be ready to talk to you. I wonder if
Yeah,
I'll have like a
I'm
hoarse
actually
voice.
like how you react to this activity. Yeah, I don't know many people who would actually try this.
I met a couple people that did like a legit silent retreat for
Yeah.
I think one was for 7 days, was for 10 days, and then they went somewhere in northern BC.
Yeah.
With a see the thing is when you're surrounded with a bunch of people and none of you are talking, it's different. It feels harder, I think, than me by myself. I think I'm doing like the easy version of that.
There's camaraderie though, like
True,
you know, like
true.
you see other people doing things and you're like, oh, they can do it, and you feel like more a part of a community. That's why it is easier to do things with others, because
Yeah, I
you get
feel
to
that.
like rely and
I
lean
feel
on
that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably have like dope ass fucking music and shit, and like in the background. You're just like in that world, in that the energy around you is just inspiring and contagious, right?
You're doing no music, right?
Yeah, no music. That's a tough one, man. I listen to music from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to
Yeah.
sleep, all day. And it like pumps me up to make art, and I use that energy, like certain pieces I'll listen to the same song like 1,000 times until I'm done the piece, you know,
Yeah.
literally 1,000 times if it's a long piece. And then I'll never want to hear that song ever again.
Yeah.
But that,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I use that as I wouldn't say a crutch, but like, sometimes when you're painting, it's almost like dancing, and how do you dance without music, you know?
Mm.
So I don't know. We'll see. This is an experiment. Um, I might fail. I might not even. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, because this goes under. I think a lot of people on YouTube, um, they call it dope. They call this dopamine fast.
Right. Right.
So I've never watched it, but I've seen titles where people do like a 30-day dopamine fast, and I think they'll just cut out a lot of stimulants. Um, and their main goal is productivity and increasing their efficiency as well.
But you've cut
It,
out a lot of dopamine stuff, right? As far as
yeah,
like social media and
yeah. What I find is like your vice will rear its ugly head wherever it's like whack-a-mole or sorry, I'm speaking anecdotally. Like I noticed I spend too much time on social media. Like I'm just hammer that shit down. It's out of my life. And then out of nowhere, like another fucking vice comes up. Maybe like a Netflix show. I'm like, another fucking.
interesting.
It's that's just me. So once I found that like I stopped social media, I started fucking watching YouTube content like crazy. And then once I ended that, like once I cut out YouTube, I think I've leveled the playing field. I'm kind of more in control on consuming media.
Interesting. I mean, it's whack-a-mole, but it's whack-a-mole in one category. It's not like you cut out social media and now you're doing crack cocaine, right?
Yeah, no, it's not like that. Like you'll
So
feel.
So what is that like addiction for you then? It's just the consumption of media, just the
Yeah,
distraction,
yeah.
the
I think it's
the mental off
voyeurism. Like
voyeurism.
just not in like the sexual like
Oh
erotic
shit.
way, but like I've always enjoyed like reading and consuming information. Like um, once I stopped YouTube, I then turned my attention to like business podcasts where I'm
Yeah.
like, I tell myself I'm learning all this stuff. I'm reading all these newsletters and I'm like fucking absorbing all this like business IQ.
Yeah.
But it's just like you're still consuming, right? We're just we just consume media. That's it. That's like a different topic. We'll definitely talk about, but like
Is that bad though? Like that you're watching business podcasts and you're learning and you're reading articles
yeah, yeah. To a certain point, you just need to turn everything off and fucking start moving. That's it.
and start what?
Start moving. Like
Start moving.
yeah, like you got to go from student to scientist.
But we're talking about Bill Gates going to on this like book retreat. You never stop learning.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah.
you're always a student of life.
I, of course, the lens needs to change, and I feel like it, there's a channel and there's a certain place for this in your life called deliberate learning. Instead of thinking that you're gonna learn for your entire waking hours, like you're always learning, but your intent is to maybe learn an hour a day because people have bandwidth, right?
Hmm.
Uh, your brain and decisions that you get to make every single day, it's limited by the amount of brain power that you have. Some people, I guess, they can make more decisions. Others, maybe they can only make a few critical decisions a day. I know a lot of from all my business podcasting and shit like that. I know that a lot of leaders like they do notice that they can only make a few key decisions a day, and they like to get it out of the way as soon as possible. Like Bezos, some other higher executives, like they'll wake up if they can solve one problem or make one big decision in that morning meeting with all their executives, like they're good. Everything's in motion. They only have that capacity to make that one big, I guess, accomplishment for the day.
Okay.
It's done with their head, right? Because Bezos ain't coding nothing. He ain't typing his emails all day. He's making decisions. So I think for us, it's if you're learning every single day, you're also consuming a shitload of media, and you're just analysis paralysis all day. You don't know what left and right is. You're just kind of confused, and you're just like, you're covered by consumption.
Right. Okay. I kind of see that.
However, if you take it into a more like maybe purposeful approach, where like 1 hour a day, I'll read and I'll learn something, and I'll make it critical.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I like waking up and having my coffee, and the first hour of my day I'm just reading a book or an audiobook or something like that. And I like starting my day like that, because I feel like you're just expanding the mind a little bit. You're exercising it. It's like going to the gym almost for me. And then I feel for the rest of the day, like I'm fucking smart. I read for an hour, and there's, I don't know, maybe an air of intelligence, intellectual confidence, or it's just, you've been reading an hour a day for the last month. You've acquired knowledge, and you're feeling a little more in control of your mind, and you're feeling a little bit sharper. That's my experience. But consumption can be different, though. You can be consuming, pimple popping videos on YouTube and cat videos and all this and memes.
Yeah.
And if that's all you consume, then you've exercised this like type of brain muscle, and that's how you make decisions in your life with the fucking same dumb fuck brain. If you sit Jeff Bezos in a room, or Bill Gates in a room, and like tape their eyes open and just like stick them to a chair, and make them watch dumb shit, they'll become dumb probably. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't go far to say, okay, yeah, of course, like you're the things that you consume, you slowly become them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, you're definitely influenced by your environment, and it's I don't know. I just think the state of consumption is not.
You think it's too heightened? There's too much consumption going on all at once right now?
I think regardless of the content, if you're in a state of consumption, it doesn't help with your output. Like,
interesting.
Like you could fucking you can watch a billion Gary Vee videos. You can watch every single video and still not start a business. You know what I mean? You can forever be a student.
For sure.
Like that's why people get stuck up in academia, and they're like, they just become lifelong students. The fuck, dude. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. However, if your goal is to be a painter, how many fucking painting videos can you watch until you have to put brush to canvas? If you're gonna be a carpenter, how many fucking home improvement videos are you gonna watch? The saw hits the wood. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like if I'm like, if I'm in the trenches starting this business, or getting the business going and scaling, like how many fucking like business newsletters should I read until or like blogs, you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
Once in a while, sure, but it needs to be purposeful, and that's what my consumption falls into. It falls into mindless consumption, where I'm just like, for the sake of spending time or taking breaks, I'll just mindlessly consume things.
I feel you. I'm with you on that. And we talked about this recently. It's the sort of forever student, and you're always learning, and you think that your craft is super special, and you have to be invited by all the greats and all the professors of that discipline in order for you to join the club or whatever. Or you could be like, I'm gonna just start fucking doing this thing, right? Orson Welles has that interview that we talked about where, so he's considered to be like one of the greatest directors of all time. He directed Citizen Kane, which is like one of the greatest films of all time. And he's been asked multiple times. I saw multiple interviews on this. They go, you were, I think he was 26 when you directed Citizen Kane. Where did you find the bravado to film things like they've never been filmed before? Um, and he's like, sheer ignorance, because I didn't know any. This is my first movie. I didn't know how to do it, and I'll be honest with you, everything about the camera you can learn in about half a day, right? He's joking, but he's kind of serious as well, because he's like, this thing fucking shoots video. It's just up to you creatively how you can do it. And because of my ignorance, I closed my eyes and I imagined what I wanted the scene to look like.
Mm.
And I didn't know what was impossible at the time. I didn't know what the restrictions were technically. So imagine I got my crew to put together, and some of them were like, yeah, we can't do that. But he had, what he says was the greatest cameraman, and the reason he wanted to work with Orson Welles was because he's never done a film before. That's what he said, because you don't know what you can't do, and that's
Yeah.
exciting to a master of cinematography. You want someone who's got this like wild imagination, because you want to fulfill those desires. Um, so to bring it back to today and to us, it's like, well, fuck, sure, it takes a lot of practice to like be able to paint in realism or whatever, but it, people think it's like magic. It's not. Like, you look at a thing and then you dissect it. Like, you know what realist artists do? They put everything in a grid, right? And they go, okay, box A and B has these pigments and these little squares, and then you go AB on your sheet and you copy it, and then you go to the next box. It's just fucking engineering. Like, a lot. I don't like realism. I don't love realism because it's like printing. There's less creativity involved, but a lot of just patience.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So if I don't know, if you want to tackle art, maybe you don't need to study for fucking 20 years all the great masters' works. Just fucking get in there and give us a fresh view, you know? And I
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
film school, and this is the argument I heard about film as well, to bring it back to that, was the argument for film school was, first of all, I think it's something like, um, I think it's something like 10% of the film industry actually went to film school, like something small like that. And the argument for not going is that you may become sort of a cookie cutter of your professor. They teach you, this is how you hold the camera, this is how you point it, this is how you create a scene, and then you do that once you enter. And that's also the argument for going to art school, actually. Um,
Mhm.
you become a cookie cutter of your master, of your professor, instead of providing a fresh perspective on art.
Agreed, agreed. Because once you learn all these rules, I think you're confined by them, and you really are. It's how you train to be a runner, and everyone tells you it'd be great if you ran a 4:10 mile, and then don't even try going under 4, because no one's ever done it. And then a fucker does it. And then everyone else in the world, like shortly after, breaks the 4-minute mile as well. Time and time in history, it's like, if you're going to push anything further, be an inventor, be an entrepreneur, you got to break eggs. And your enemy on the side of the spectrum are experts. Like, experts definitely are useful, and they do become agents of change, but it's usually an outsider or somebody with the vision, like they call them visionaries for a reason, who then are able to compile a group of experts in the room to make the change. And they're always going to butt heads. It's like when Steve Jobs, like when he was alive and he was pushing out projects and he was shipping products, all the developers that worked for him hated him at the time, because they would always be like, yo, Steve, you can't fucking like code this in a week. Why are you giving us a 5-day deadline? We need like 6 months for this. And he would leave the room, the meeting room, and be like, no, you're fucking getting it done. Like, don't tell me 6 months. You're going to get it done in 5 days, or whatever that arbitrary number is. And then lo and behold, they do it. They crush every single expectation. They surprise themselves. And other people like Elon, apparently he does the same thing. He'll promise one thing, like, we're going to have the Model 3 out in a year. Like, whereas another company like Ford might be like, oh, I think this EV might take 3 years. Mm-hmm. And they might be late and deliver it in the 4th year, but at least with Tesla, they've delivered it 18 months later rather than 12. So it's your expectations and your kind of like the self-limiting beliefs that you put on yourself are important. If you're always a student and you think that you need to learn, a decade of worth of things before you actually start producing, I think it's something that not a lot of people talk about, because it is important to learn, but you got to be able to change that learning mentality into an output mentality.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it creates a sort of timidness, and I want to sort of preface, well, it's too late to preface, but I want to maybe circle around more creative crafts, like entrepreneurship and art and music and so on, because this mentality may not apply as well in, I don't know, science, maybe, right? What do you think? Do you think this is across all disciplines?
Well, the example I used was technology, and if you're talking about electric cars, that's like one of the highest magnitudes of science, right? It's like they're creating products that rely heavily on science, like battery technology that doesn't exist.
Right, you're right.
And this would go for SpaceX. Like Elon, led a team. There are many sparks, but the vision and the mindset was pushed by him.
You're right.
He did Elon, lean on these.
This is impossible. This is impossible.
Yeah. Like, no, you're gonna fucking do it. Like, we're gonna land a rocket. We're gonna fire thousands of tons of weight of like metal and steel or whatever they use. We're gonna fire it off out of the stratosphere into orbit or some shit, and then land it on a tiny little.
But Elon, we've never landed rockets before. That's impossible.
Exactly. NASA can't even do it. Why are you trying to do it?
You're crazy, Elon. We can't do this for you, bro. You don't pay us enough.
Think about it. 20 years ago, you can't make a piece of glass that you fucking stick your finger on that recognizes your face. Anyways, like cliches aside,
You're right. I'll give you
that bold mentality that will push anything that you're doing. Anything.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm with you. So I thought of a science example. Einstein. He was terrible at school, right? Like when he's doing his his PhD.
Yeah.
He like bottom of the class type of thing, and he worked. I hope I get the story right, but he worked in, I guess like an insurance brokerage or something like that, where he did a lot of these calculations in the back, and he would look out the window and stare at this clock, and that's how he thought of, the theory of relativity, because he's like,
Okay. Is that really true, or is that just
no, yeah,
is
yeah,
that
I watched the
folklore?
documentary on him. This,
Okay.
Jason, this isn't bro science. Was it an insurance brokerage? I just know that he was doing these like calculations for some sort of company like that. Um, but the thing is he wasn't like this crazy learner, right? I think he was stepped out of that.
He had a Newton moment where the apple hit him on the head, right?
Yes, yes, and I think had he been, had his head been glued in the books, so to speak, he would be he would be just blinded by those pages and by the information that's in them, versus like getting a taste, understanding math and science, and stepping out, and then just like, letting your mind go, and connecting to the ether, or to whatever. He let the aliens fucking speak to him. Or he let the
Right, right.
universe speak to him, or the collective unconscious, whatever you want to call it. um, but that's the thing, he wasn't glued in that perspective.
Yeah, and that's why people like it is important to understand youth and like learn from your younger people, not just look to people who are maybe like established and have been doing something only one way for a long ass time. You definitely want to see like fresh perspective. In Silicon Valley, I know for a fact that people don't discount um, noobs anymore. They don't discount people who have never had experience in industry. Like I think in the past few decades, we've just seen a trend of people coming into industries that they have no experience in, and just crushing competitors that have like people who have worked in certain domains for a very long time that can't innovate because they don't know what's not possible. Sorry, they don't know what's possible. They only know what's not possible. And instead of pushing the needle 5 millimeters, they're crushed by the guy that knows nothing about the industry, but his goal is to push it, 10 meters forward.
Right.
That comes with the problem you're solving. I think if you're solving a really, really, really big problem, you need to come at it with a completely different perspective than just being like, I want to make it a little bit better.
Right. Sorry, I looked it up. He worked in a patent office in Switzerland.
Yeah,
Sorry, it wasn't a brokerage.
it's fine. I
Doesn't
think
matter.
the sentiment is still the same. But anyways, yeah, moving back to why we're talking about this and how it affects you, it's cutting out the dopamine. All you can do is execute and take action with your brush. Hopefully, you're not meditating like the entire day. So I think it's good. You're getting rid of this consumption mentality, and I think you'll be a different person a little bit after these 7 days.
Well, I thank you, Jason, for the kind words and the kind wishes. You're a true gentleman and a true scholar, and I'm excited for this week.
I don't want to be a fucking scholar. Don't call me that.
You just want to be a doer.
Dirty scholar. Huh?
You just want to be a doer.
Yeah, man. Just do. Get that do going.
That's right. All right, man. This is a good episode. I'm excited for the following Sunday to discuss what happens. Hopefully, I
Yeah.
get through it.
hopefully, hopefully you're still alive and you can sign in.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this was good. I feel like I'm not gonna learn shit today. I'm just gonna jump in the craft and be an ignorant dumbass and experiment and do stupid, wild stuff on the canvas today. It's all thanks to you, Jason.
I love it. Be dumb.
All right, let's go. Unrealism. Let's get it.
All right. Take care, bud.
Bye.